I'm transferring before I play through my senior year because my only goal is to win a national championship. Road to glory on Heisman's been brutal, and even though I had an incredible junior year, I clearly can't win it all with Kentucky, so that's why I've entered the portal one final time. I'd also love to win the Heisman in this video, and my stats are pretty important because I plan on porting this player over to Madden 25, which is why it's so crucial that I choose the right school to commit to. Now, originally I was going to go with Georgia, but I figured Oregon could be a better fit, and then I saw Alabama's roster plus Kalen DeBoer being there. He made Michael Penix look incredible and also turned him into a top 10 draft pick, so just looking around at some of the other schools that want me, I think that might be the best fit. I didn't plan on doing this, but I really want to win a championship. So for my senior year, I'm going to be a part of the Crimson Tide. That should mean a lot more NIL offers are coming my way, but I didn't like this deal. 16-week contract with 3 energy just isn't worth it. And because I have a 3.8 GPA, I've already graduated, so we don't have to worry about studying all season. I do have to worry about a brutal schedule though, with both Penn State, Ohio State, and then all of the SEC schools, including my former team. I'm going on the road to Kroger Field. With an Alabama roster that's not projected to win the SEC, this is going to be difficult still. I'm not even in the Heisman projections. I thought a move like this might put me up in the race. But to be fully transparent, the reason that I chose them is because they have 2 receivers that are very quick in both Cole Adams and Ryan Williams, who I'm going to throw the ball up to a lot. Our defense is also really good if we're a 94 overall. So now I just have to focus on winning, and I've already maxed out my coach's trust. I didn't come here for the jerseys, that's for sure, but I came here to win a championship, and I feel like we should be able to do that. So I'm excited. This is my first time running out in Bryant-Denny Stadium, and there's a lot of fans. West Virginia is going to be a decently tough opponent, but we should be able to beat them. And in my first game at Alabama, I'm going to take this comeback route to open up the game where it is held onto. It is so nice to have some wide receivers that are really good. And you best believe we're going to try to take the top off of the defense here. They got in just in time though, making it 3rd and 13 where they tried to press our best receiver. And Ryan Williams is going to go crazy the entire year. He is the overpowered ability that Barrion Brown has where he gets a better release off of the line, and that's just going to cause him to toast a lot of corners. But we're also going to have a chance to run the ball a decent bit too because Jalen Milroe was here before me. I'm actually so excited to see how this year plays out. I'm hoping to win the Heisman Trophy. I'm hoping to end up being the first pick in the NFL draft. And just using a new playbook, there's a lot of things that I'm going to get to use that I didn't at Kentucky. We have an awesome running back as well. If we do get up by a lot of points in any game though, I will end up cutting it. And that's such a brutal way to miss my first pass of the season. I don't know why he didn't turn around for that football. Ryan Williams wasted no time getting his 3rd touchdown of the day though. And it's not even the end of the first quarter where we're already up by 21. Once we have to go on the road though, I don't think we're going to be able to beat some SEC schools like this, and Cole Adams is the other quick receiver. You know, all I've talked about in this series is how hard Heisman is, and I'm sure I'm going to throw a lot of interceptions in this video still, but I'm going off. And if we could go up by 4 touchdowns already, that would be the best start to a game I think I've ever had. I'm still limited with some of the play calls though, like Kalen DeBoer made me run this on 3rd and 2. But it was the right decision, and now I'm going to have a chance to run it in with my legs, and I do. This is about to be the best season that I've had in Road to Glory yet. And with 2 minutes left in the first half, I'm hoping to pass for another touchdown. I missed my reads right there though. I was so scared of throwing a pick. And West Virginia is just getting embarrassed. It got so ugly I didn't even have to play in the second half. And this might be the best stat line I've ever put on. If I ever threw for that much last year, there was always a turnover or 2 involved. And I've gotten a sponsorship offer from Nissan where they're going to throw in a new car for me and my entire position group, plus it's only for 5 weeks. I'm going to get an extra large leadership boost, 750,000 followers. I have to take the deal. Compared to what I was getting offered at Kentucky, things are so much better at Alabama. And I'm still getting used to not having to study at all. I'm technically graduated and I can spend pretty much all of my energy on just training and then recovering my body. With the 7 skill points I have to spend, I could max out this category, or I could start going down into some of these like throw power and then my quickness. But I could also start to purchase some physical abilities, and I've just never liked any of the options on here besides maybe mobile deadeye. With 99 throw on the run already though, I might just be better off saving up until we have 10 skill points, and then I'll upgrade my quickness because it's definitely needed. This is the drill that I've always struggled on, trying to escape and pick up both of the zones and then throw for a touchdown. I don't think I'm gonna do it here. So that's why I'm so focused on it, and eventually I will be able to pull this off flawlessly. For the time being though, I still can't beat this minigame, and I'm ready to get back to our schedule where Penn State and Ohio State are both coming up. This is gonna be difficult, especially since my offensive coordinator is expecting either 400 passing yards or rushing for 175. And I doubt we'll make that happen since the Nittany Lions are a 90 overall. Since they've already scored 3 points, they're doing better than West Virginia was. And they've got us running the read option here, but they were prepared for me to keep it. I think we might struggle whenever we have to play against teams like this, though we had a touchdown on the play play, and I just saw it really, really late. So I need to make up for that, and we're going to have them beat deep. Assuming that ball is placed on the money, we have a touchdown right here to Ryan Williams. That is what I need to see. I love whenever they press some of our best wide receivers, though their safety got over to that ball. And I'm not one to take a lot of my checkdowns. I love to sling it down the field. A bad pass means it's 3rd and 10, though. Our tight end should route up that DB, but at the same time, Penn State's going to scream at us. And we're actually about to get a safety on this play. Coach wanted us to run a jet touch pass on the half-yard line. Come on, just get out of there. That could have gone so much worse than it did, and then they brought everybody down on Ryan Williams. What were they thinking? We might be struggling, but I'm still going to make those reads. And I'd love to throw this RPO bubble. They kind of bit at the running back, but we only got a couple still. On 3rd and 5, I'm going to roll out. We have our crossing route, but I threw it a second too late, and that means we have to settle for a field goal. It's all good, though. We'd get the ball back, and they just keep bringing people down. You can't do that. We need to increase our throw power, though, because since that ball was underthrown, it caused us to drop it, and now we have to work it down the field another way with slants. I mean, if this is cover 3, this won't work, but if it's not, it would have, and I'm about to take a sack. I know I had that right side of the field open. I was staring down what I really wanted to take, and what are you doing? Don't stop your route right there. Please tell me they're not going to catch up to our running back down at the 3. Richard Young just went crazy right there, though, and now with the jet touch pass, we're about to take it in, which means we have a lead on the Nittany Lions. They'd score before the end of the first half, though. I'm not surprised. The computer always does. And I can only imagine what it's going to be like next week on the road at Ohio State. I'm not sure how we're going to win that game. We're going to keep getting motions involved in our offense, though. A lot of really cool screen plays are in this playbook that we utilize. And we have a delay route on this one, but the crossing route was so wide open, which is why I took it, but I missed the throw. Come to think of it, with 99 throw on the run, we might just be better off for throwing it on the run every single time, but Ryan Williams took the jet pass for a ton of yards, and he is still going. Whenever it works out like that, it becomes my favorite play in the game. And I threw that ball there just hoping that he'd show up at the right time. The only issue, though, is we're still only up by 8 points, and we have a long way to go if we're going to beat Penn State. I like that I can hand it off to Richard Young, though, because he is going to take it for like 20 yards. He's still going. And on the final play of the 3rd quarter, I'm about to take a sack and also fumble the football. Please pick it up in time. That was such a weird way to just drop it, but they knocked it out of my hands, so we're going back to feeding Richard Young instead. I don't have to do anything. I just have to trust our offensive line gets the job done. And this is such an odd coverage right here. I feel like we could get off the immediate throw, but where'd that safety come from? I am actually so blind. I just noticed that this player was hiding behind the referee. I mean, you could barely see him, and that would have been the worst way to turn the ball over. They got man-to-man coverage, though, so we're going to take our crawl route, which was dropped, so we punted it back to them. They still couldn't do a thing versus our defense, and I've accidentally called the speed option to the weak side of the field, so that's going to do nothing. The cameras were weird. Apparently there was holding involved, and now it's 2nd and 19, but all Kalen DeBoer wants to do still is hand this football off, so we're going to let Richard Young go to work. I also love it here. Kalen's allowing me to throw the ball on 3rd and 8, so we have a chance at picking it up, but me and Richard still aren't on the same page, which is how we got in a spot that the game is tied up with 36 seconds left, and I couldn't tell you why they have me running the read option. Hopefully that's given coach the confidence to allow us to try and pick something up. I mean, I have all the time in the world, which is a very good thing. We have an open receiver too. That's going to go to about the 40, but it does kind of bum me out that it all came down to this and I missed the throw. 2nd and 10 now. I clearly cannot take a sack in this situation. We're going to have to burn a timeout, and coach isn't putting me back out there on the field. We are either going to make this field goal or go to overtime. I have no decision over it. It looks like we drilled it, though, and I guess I set us up well enough to win the game. Normally, I wouldn't trust a college kicker with a 49-yarder, but I guess it works out for us, and I still haven't thrown an interception. My offensive coordinator still wasn't happy with my performance, though, so he's come back the next week drilling me with questions, and I never played football. This could be rough, but the nose tackle's on the inside. It should be defensive end for the read option. Please tell me that was correct. As for what FIB stands for, I'm pretty sure it's formation into boundary. We're just gonna roll with that. I think we got one more question after this, and I have never heard of Fox 2 and Spider 2 in my life. It means something with West Coast terminology, both play action or both runs. We're just gonna guess A, and it looks like that was not it. I nailed the other 2 questions though, so my coach trust increased. And there's a VR company that wants me to do some ads with them where they'll give me that for free if I do, but I don't really want that. The only reason I'm accepting it is it boosts my throw accuracy, and this is the only way I can do that, but I just realized that's not going to happen for a while. I need it though, because my medium throw accuracy still causes issues at 86. It says we have 100 short throw accuracy, and right now I just need one more skill point to upgrade my throw power, which is what I think I want to go with. Due to all these NIL deals though, I'm going to have almost no energy to spend. I could do it, but it's going to take a big hit to my wear and tear. And I hope going all out for this upgrade's not going to affect us against Ohio State. 87 throw power is a lot better than 85. And I clearly need more touchdowns to become a Heisman contender like the Buckeyes quarterback. If we can beat the number 2 team on the road though, that should put me in contention. Right now Alabama's at number 12. And it should be no surprise that this is being considered as the game of the week. In a hostile environment like this, I have no idea what some of these buttons are. I also can't make any hot routes, so I might be better off just handing it off to Richard Young a lot throughout this game, and I'm hoping that I know where everybody's going on this one. We're going to Ryan Williams, the only route I stared down because I was so nervous of making a mistake, and this is a good test to whether or not I can win a national championship with Alabama. I'm about to fumble, but it all turned out all right. On this third down, I'm waiting for that route to get open, and that was such a tight window. I'm expecting them to stop us a lot like that throughout the day, but our defense has held it down for us, and now we need Richard Young to hit that hole properly. It is 3rd and 8. I'm going to try my best not to throw an interception right here, but I think we can all agree that that probably should have been one, and we're just lucky to still have it as a tied game. There's still 0 adjustments that I can make, but we're going to throw this crossing route on the run, and that did not work very well for us. We're going to have to attack this seam, hope they don't make a play on the football, keeping this drive alive, and now the bubble screen gets us a couple more. They have me going back to it over and over though, and running that to the weak side of the field was probably the worst thing that we could have done. It's going to be another drive that we get no points on, but because our defense is so good, Ohio State is struggling too, and with my throw power, I had to try to test it out on this play. We got very lucky that they called them for PI. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and our 98 speedster's not dusting their corners. That's unfortunate, but I'm not sure what else I expected to happen there. Richard Young takes it for 7, setting up a 3rd and 9 where they're running zone and they get the sack. This is the hardest place I've played in my career. I can't even see any of the routes before the play starts, but we might have them beat deep, and that is what we do. I've even had a pro player tell me that Heisman is super difficult, that he threw 7 interceptions on it, so I don't feel bad whenever I'm not performing the best. And I'm really hoping they send the crib here. I'm ready for that hot read over the middle where the safety might play it for a pick. I shouldn't have thrown it. If it was just a little harder, it was a touchdown. But instead, it was my first interception of the season, and I'm going to be down 10-0 at the half at Ohio State. We're in a lot of trouble. I feel like we moved the ball pretty well too. These stats aren't that much different, but I'm fully expecting us to pick up our first loss of the year. And I still can't believe I went into Penn State as a sophomore or junior at Kentucky and won by so much. That was probably the craziest game throughout this entire road to glory. My linemen just pushed this guy into me though, and if they didn't do that, I would have scrambled for the first down. Another drive, another chance to get onto the board for the first time, and we'll see if this motion confuses their defense at all. It seems like it didn't. Richard Young's going to easily pick up the first though, so we'll continue to move it down the field where the run's just not working. I'm not sure if I can say the passes either. I don't know what routes are out there, and even this play, this is not the play that we're running. It is much different than that. I could have probably attacked the seam, but I couldn't remember exactly what we had, and now I'm just going to throw it. I don't know what I can do because I pretty much feel helpless here, and come on, please just get a big one. To start the 4th quarter, for the first time, the home field advantage isn't going as crazy. I can actually see some things, so that does give me a little bit of hope, and we have dusted them with that route, but it's a bad throw. After one mistake too, now I have no idea what routes are out there on the field. That's all it takes. And here on 3rd and 21, I'm just going to send up a prayer. I think that's the best thing that we could do, but Ryan Williams catches it. Our prayer has been answered. We have a miracle. And guess who has the ball back with this much time left in the game? I'm going straight back to him. I don't even want to try to make a read versus the defense. We are up now. That is all I had to do. I just had to be able to hot route him whenever the environment settled down. And the Buckeyes must have turned it over to our defense immediately because now we have it inside the red zone. This is it. We are 3 plays away from being able to run out the clock. But they've gotten us to a 3rd and 11, so we're going to settle for a field goal. It is 4th and 16, so I think we're about to stop them. And that is what we've done. We've taken down the Buckeyes on the road. I know for a fact that my stats aren't going to be the best, but all that matters is the fact that we upset the Buckeyes, and that's not going to make us the #1 team in the country, but it will put us at number 5. There's still no sign of me on the Heisman watch. That makes sense after the stats in the last matchup, but eventually I should get some respect. I'm on pace to have over 4,000 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, and only 4 picks, so we know what's coming, and we're about to play an FCS school. I can promise that I'm going to pad my stats against the Royals, so I'm going to apologize in advance to Bengal for what I'm about to do to his team builder team. I already know that they're going to think it's a smart idea to press the best receiver in the country, Ryan Williams, so that's going to make this 10 times easier. And now we're going to hit them with play action where we have a player wide open but almost threw a pick. Okay, maybe I need to be a little bit more careful. If I turn it over versus Riverside, I'm going to be so upset. There's even a flag on this play for holding. So what are we even doing? I just want to get up by a lot. Well, 2nd 2nd and 20. Now we're going to attack that man-to-man coverage all day. And this might be my one chance to break off a big run with my quarterback, but I almost took a safety. I'm not sure why we love to go to the jet touch pass on the 1-yard line, but it's about to lead to one as well. And they're actually on the board versus us. This is embarrassing. This is not what you want to see out of a championship contender. But they're actually trying to make this a competitive matchup, and I didn't think they stood a chance because I can do stuff like this. I'm going to go back to Ryan Williams 50 times. If their 69 overall corner sticks with them, they deserve to stop us. But why are we getting the ball back in this position again? Come on, break off a big run. We didn't get very far, but because I took a sack, now we're running it again on 3rd and 6. I love the play call, but I can't break free. It is all good though. We're still doing just fine. Ryan Williams is going to run straight by number 13, and that's going to be another touchdown for the Crimson Tide. I'm not going to make you all sit through this beatdown though. We all know I'm going to have plenty of success. So hopefully by the time I cut to you all again, I'm going to be up by a ton with the best stat line of my career. That's not a ball that I wanted to see dropped, but I plan on making up for it very shortly after, and that crossing route's naked. I've also noticed that these FCS school players are getting hurt on pretty much every single play, and I'm kind of embarrassed that they just held us to a field goal. We missed it too. All I want to do is go up by like 21 plus points. That seals a win, but I'm struggling a little bit more than I thought I would, and I'm really just doing my best to not throw a stupid interception versus them. To open it up though in the 3rd quarter, I might just send it and not care, because currently the Royals are playing us better than West Virginia did, and I wish I could break off a huge run, but I'm just not that quick. On 3rd and 7, we got a little bit of a motion coming over. That's going to leave that side of the field wide open, and I put it right on the money. So now I know for a fact that we're going to win. I feel like once the pressure's gone of getting up by at least 21, we're going to have no issues extending our lead even more. And once we've hit the 4th quarter, it's clear that this game is completely over. By this point, I'm not sure why I'm even out there on the field still, but I might as well try and take advantage of it. And by the end of the game, it was 56-2. I had 8 total touchdowns, 6 through the air and 2 on the ground. But I'm not going to take all the credit. Instead, I'm going to give a lot of it to my teammates. I've also gotten another text from my offensive coordinator saying the forecast is showing heavy rain in our next game, so apparently I need to prepare for it. And that'll give me a +5 boost to carrying for one game. Then we got Chad hitting me up. I wish it was Audrey, but anyway, we have more opportunities to spend our energy, and just because I think we're already over the cap, I'm curious what happens if we do it too. Even though I've already graduated, I'm writing papers, my GPA's somehow gotten a bump, and that makes no sense at all. At least I won National Offensive Player of the Week. I realized what mistake I've just made though, because with no energy, I can't heal my health. I'm already torn up, and I have to go into the game against number 5 Texas A&M like this. This could be a bad look for me, and I'm still not in the Heisman running. At least Ryan Williams is. But now we got to start this game with -6 throw accuracy medium and -5 throw power. It's even the game of the week, so all eyes are going to be on me. And it is also raining, which is going to make it even harder to throw the ball. If I survive this matchup without getting injured, I would be shocked. And there's going to be no throwing the ball deep versus Texas A&M at all. With 82 throw power, it's almost a guaranteed pick, but I guess I put enough on this one. And I'm hoping there's a way that I can magically heal throughout this game. I mean, we've had a pretty solid first drive so far. We're moving it down the field until we had a completely inaccurate pass. And now we're going to have to just make sure we score on this next one where it was cover 2 and I think we had him beat. 2nd and 10, little bit of play action again. This time it didn't work for us at all. I'm scrambling for the first. But I can just tell that this is not going to go the way that we want it to. Coach has me handing the ball off a ton. I mean, I just want to throw it. And it looks like underneath my player, I did get another tick to wear and tear, so that's a good sign, but we have to fit it in that window. Another stop is certainly not ideal, but I think we have a touchdown on this play. Their coverage got very confused. It was underthrown. And why did the Aggies have to score again? Now they've come out aggressively pressing right here. I might just throw the streak and hope for the best. Ryan Williams, please go up and get that ball. It is a shame that right now we can't put very much on it because we would have touchdowns on all of these plays. And now we have to find a way to pick up this 3rd and 10 where our crossing route's open. Ryan Williams dropped it though. By the next time I'm out there on the field, it is 21-7. And here's the thing, I've lost plenty of games since I've been in college. I'm expecting us to lose at least a couple this season. But even if we do, we should be able to make the playoffs just with how the system works now. I just wanted them to be road losses. Losing at home is like 10 times worse because we shouldn't have any issues in these games. And that's just another bad throw. I have to try to go for a deep shot where they're about to intercept it. I got hit before I could get it out. You can try your hardest to not turn the ball over in Road to Glory on Heisman, but it's just bound to happen with the way it works. I mean, they almost got another. And I'm just not going to stress about it this season. I can't let it affect me. I'm hoping to hit this crossing route to Ryan Williams, which I did. And he's also going to break a tackle, taking it all the way down to the 1. Here we go. We're about to get right back in this one, but I might need to throw for the touchdown. We have a little RPO here that works wonders, so it's back to being a one-possession game, but that's not good enough for Kalen DeBoer. He wants to go for it. I have to say, I respect the willing to be aggressive here. I'm going to put it on the money, and if we can actually win this game, it should be pretty easy to look past those 2 interceptions. I mean, the conditions couldn't have been any worse either. I had no wear and tear. I'm also playing in the rain, so I'm just thrilled to see how it's playing out, and that should be our next score. I saw we beat them off the line. I normally don't throw to him, but that's enough to put us up by a point, and if our defense keeps doing what they've been doing, we might actually win this game. I'm about to have a 20-yard throw with no effort, and that's great and all, but we need to start running the football instead. My coach clearly doesn't think so, though. We're throwing the ball here, and if that's a great spot with the ball, we're going to hit Ryan Williams for a touchdown. I smart routed his route so it would cut sooner, but I didn't think we'd burn them deep like that, and with a stop, this game's all over. I'd like to think that we're in field goal range even if we don't move the chains, but it might not matter anyway. Coach has me throwing it on this 3rd down where our left tackle just got destroyed, and I'm going to take the sack. I wanted to keep the clock running, but it led to them getting a touchdown, so I'm glad they didn't get the 2-point conversion. Even though it was super close, we've won another matchup, and let's just act like I didn't throw those 2 interceptions. I also love to see upgrades like this to Road Dog, which are going to help me play better on the road, and I have a chance to work with this company new washing appliances for 3 energy a week and only 5 spin move. We're declining that. I'm the best quarterback in the nation for the #1 team in the country. I can't be accepting that, and with over 1.1 million followers now, they're going to have to pay me if they want to work with me. After using most of my energy to heal my body though, we're ready for another game, and even though we're 8 overalls better than Ole Miss, I know they're going to be good. I don't want anyone to derail our chances of making the SEC title game, and I don't know if it's a bug in Road to Glory or not, but we're playing at home all the way up until the final 4 weeks, just like last year where we have 4 straight road games. Since Alabama's got such a large selection of jerseys to choose from, we'll switch it up this time and wear white. And that was the one big downside of transferring here to play for the Crimson Tide. If I wanted all the jersey options, Oregon probably would have been a better choice, but I love the wide receivers that Alabama has, and come on, start this game off with a touchdown. I don't know why they came out pressing Cole Adams on that first play, but it seems like I'm almost better off never keeping it with the read option, and on 3rd and 14, I think they're going to keep up with Ryan Williams, but that was the only throw I wanted to take, and we have another one. These go routes to these receivers are so good, but we have a bit of an issue. Even on the furthest back camera angle, I can't read this RPO. There was a wide receiver that I could have thrown the ball to. So that's the type of stuff where we just have to hand it off, hope for the best, and now on the next play, we're about to go up 21-0. I thought we had them beat there, but I'm sure we're still going to make it happen at least sometime soon. I'm using the playmaker, which means Ole Miss is already out of this game. There's not much they're going to be able to do to come back after all that. I feel like our defense is just too solid to give up a lot of points, and we're still going to continue driving down the field hoping for the best, but they're about to sack me on 3rd down. Well, we must have had a pretty good punt because they got us safety. We have 2 more points on the scoreboard, and now I'm going to hope that these blocks hold up long enough for me to get another passing touchdown. Normally I get instantly sacked there, but not on that play, and the fact that they keep on coming out pressing us might be a joke. I mean, once we hike this, one of our receivers is going to burn them deep. They have 98 and 99 speed. What do you expect? I still have to finish off the job since we couldn't get into the end zone there, but using Playmaker, it shouldn't be too difficult. And this entire second half's just going to be me running out the clock and then eventually getting benched most likely. With 27 seconds left, I'm going to get another passing touchdown. And now we're in the 4th quarter where for some reason they still haven't pulled me. Personally, I'd rather just watch the rest of the clock run out from the bench, but we can go for more touchdown passes if they're going to give them to Ryan Williams. We're not done either. I'm back out there on the field again, and I think we would have had it there. Now I'm just going to scramble. This could be the biggest rush of my career if I make both of these guys miss. And this is why they need to have that skip play feature in Road to Glory. Without it, I've had to spend a few more minutes in game when it's already over. And I can't believe we beat Ole Miss this badly still. 51-10 is insane. I mean, these stats have to put me in the Heisman running, which it has, and I might have to stop throwing it to Ryan Williams if I want to take it home instead of him. That's going to be super hard to do, especially since I'm saving up my skill points to increase my throw power to get the ball to him even more. And right now I'm at 7, so we still have a little bit to go. So far, Texas hasn't really been doing well in the SEC, but there's a chance they could still give us issues. They're a 91 overall team. The second teams don't come out pressing, they're already in a better spot, and I guess it's time to see if they can guard Ryan Williams deep. It seems like they can, but we're still going to have somebody open. Now, I know for a fact throughout this road to glory, I've gotten a lot better, but I don't know how much of it's been me as a player or just the fact that I've been upgrading my character the entire time. I mean, that throw was underthrown and then we got bumped into a pick. So I'm still turning it over stupidly, but I'm sure I'll finish this game with some really good numbers. And look at that, Cole Adams just dusted that guy. He's gonna go for like a 95-yard touchdown. Now we're getting the ball almost in the red zone. It's like they're setting us up for success. I am gonna have to scramble instead of throwing it, but we should still be fine. And on third down, that hitch is gonna be open to Cole Adams all day as he fights his way in. We really need him to start picking up touchdowns so I can win the Heisman. And you have to wonder what type of coverage this is right there. I mean, we're just gonna blow right by them. Why would they bring everybody down and let us do that? Because my throw power isn't the best. It didn't work for a completion, but it will in the future. And we had Richard Young getting really involved during the start of this season, but I feel like we forgot about him, so it's time that he gets some action on this play. Me personally, I love all these plays that have screens in them because it bumps up my completion percentage, and I'm pretty sure throughout this entire road to glory, I've never averaged better than like 63%. That sack, unfortunately, though, would put us on a third down where we have Cole Adams deep. It's very, very underthrown, and we're just fortunate that the Longhorns couldn't get back to it, but I might have just thrown them a pick. I saw that read way too late. We are very fortunate that he couldn't get his feet down in time, and I'm not going to force it for a touchdown. If it's not there, we're not going to have one, but I'll throw that. Zig routes are one of the only things I feel safe with in the red zone, and what is Texas even doing? It's like they just want to give us more touchdowns. I don't understand why they would come out with a coverage like that. Cover zero. All I'm going to say is if I would have stayed at Kentucky, this game would be like 28-all right now. We would not be winning by as much as we are, and I was hoping to end this first half with even more points, but I don't think that's going to happen unless our tight end can pick up this third and long. I mean, we're going to get a field goal, but I don't get to pass for another touchdown, but I might get to run for one. Apparently we went for it on fourth down, even though I wasn't out there on the field, and this still makes me so uncomfortable, like I'm going to throw an interception or something. Please just go in with the hitch. With how great that first half was, we really haven't had to do much in the third and fourth quarter, but that allowed Texas to get it closer than I would have liked. I also didn't win player of the game. Of course it went to Cole Adams, but that's perfectly fine with me. I just have to hope that that one interception doesn't hurt my Heisman odds. Before we find out where we stand though, we got this NIL offer for a self-massaging stick, and I think this would better fit for women's sports since you could use that in a multitude of ways. That would actually be an insane NIL post if you got what I'm saying. And Ryan Williams somehow jumped up to #1 in the Heisman odds, even though I didn't feed it to him while I stayed at #3. His targets are about to be cut very short. We can't have him looking this much better than Cole Adams. And currently I have -14 throw power because of how injured I am, so we should probably just recover, maybe train a little bit, and then recover again. With 9 skill points to spend, we still can't increase our throw power, and we can't increase our speed either. I still think I'm gonna go with this one, but we also have all these amazing mental abilities with no good physical ones. It's kinda dumb to avoid these. I'm just hoping it doesn't affect how our player carries over into Madden 25, and this should be our final home game of the year. First play of the day versus the Bulldogs. We had an RPO that I had to test out, and if Cole Adams is even grabbing that ball there, he might just be my favorite wide receiver. I don't like whenever we're forced to run that RPO to the short side of the field though. It's never gonna work, and this throw on the run was almost a dot. The Bulldogs might actually hold us here. I'm gonna take our comeback route to Ryan Williams. I had to give it to him, but he's not getting any more touchdowns. That's what bumps up his Heisman stock. If we get down against any team though, I'll definitely start using him. We need our tight end to create enough separation, and thankfully there was a penalty on them, so we're gonna get to move the chains. Even though we dropped that ball, things still worked out really well, and Kalen DeBoer is giving me all these quarterback runs, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to punch it in. That felt really good, and with the play action, we should have Cole Adams deep. I'm not sure why it moved us to that side of the pocket, but it didn't seem to matter. I mean, they bit down when they really shouldn't have been, and now they're pressing. I have to go to Ryan Williams. I didn't want to do it, but he beat that corner by more than Cole Adams did. He's got a touchdown. Let's not act like this isn't Mississippi State's fault though. Look at the coverage that they're coming out in. Even our tight end that might outrun that DB for a huge play, breaking 2 tackles, keep on going. It's just not looking good for Mississippi State. I'm not sure what you're expecting out of them though. They were never going to play us well. Now we've got it down on the goal line, running the speed option, and I am going to pitch this last second, even though I couldn't see if he was open, because I am an unselfish teammate. I can't believe that I'm going to have to end another game early too, but we had a touchdown to Ryan Williams. I mean, what can I do? He beat them off the line by 10 yards. That's probably all you all are going to see though. This one's over. And by the way, this is just for all the comments that are going to be like, oh, it's not on Heisman. I know somebody's going to think it because this is the best that I've played in this entire road to glory. But that's what happens when you go to a 94 overall school. I can't just say that we got the easy win in this matchup though, because with 4 minutes left, we're only up by 18 points. And that's because here in the second half, I haven't been trying to score. I've just been trying to run out clock. There's a slight chance that they could still come back though, so that's why I even mentioned it. And I'm going to go for the pass on 3rd and 4 where our right tackle just got completely destroyed, but I broke that attempt at a sack and I'm going to pick it up. That was a crazy play. It might might be the first broken sack of the year. And I think we might as well see if we can pick up one more touchdown just to end this game. On 1st and goal, the halfback angle route is going to get us to the 2. And we have a couple hitches out there on the field, but our running back's open for the tutty. Richard Young just helped my stats out a little bit more. And we've won the battle for Highway 82 for the 89th time. If it's that lopsided, I'm not sure you can even call it a rivalry. And apparently my offensive coordinator's expecting me to score either 5 rushing or passing touchdowns in this next game. He doesn't want me to just beat my former team. He wants me to embarrass them at Kroger Field. And at the moment, they're ranked number 12, but they're 9th in the SEC. All I know is I wasn't getting onto the Heisman watch with Kentucky last season, and I'd love to save them the embarrassment, but I have enough skill points to upgrade my throw power to an 89. So even if we have to play on the road, we might beat them by 50. Just a season ago, this was a home for all of my games. I'd be walking out in the tunnel with those players. But now I'm coming out of the tunnel with the opposing team, which doesn't feel right. Alabama at Kroger Field, you would never expect me to be using the Crimson Tide. But before we finish the rest of my Road to Glory career, a word from Prize Picks, today's video sponsor. Football is so close to being back, which means if you're good at guessing how players will perform, then you might like Prize Picks, where on there you simply pick 2 to 6 players and higher or lower on their projections. You can play in over 30 states, so there's a good chance yours is eligible, and they have all sorts of sports available, but I like to stick with football, so the NFL preseason's gonna do until college starts back up. Also, if you're not already on Prize Picks and you want some free cash to start out with, Code Board will get you $50 instantly when you play with your first $5 plus lineup. And now it's time to resume the rest of my Road to Glory career. They've already scored 7-2. They're not going to make it easy on me, even though I'm the only reason their program's ranked 12. Because at 5-3 before me, they wouldn't have even been ranked inside the top 25. We're already stuck with a 3rd and 10 though. I think we might have a touchdown. I'm not sure what happened. 49 was supposed to be on him, and he's just let him run for 7. Kentucky's not going away though. They scored another touchdown. I'm convinced road games are just impossible, because we have not struggled defensively in any matchup until this one against the Wildcats. I've also noticed Cole Adams is missing with an upper arm fracture. Thankfully, he's only out for 1 week. But that means we're going to have to rely on some new wide receivers, and we would have had a touchdown there, but I got hit immediately. I think the play action warped me into running into that defensive lineman too. So I need to start taking that off plays, because now we're trailing 21-7, and Ryan Williams just got underthrown a lot for another pick. I just upgraded my throw power to 89 too. What was that? I mean, I'm set up to lose to my favorite team right now. And they got another touchdown. I guess they're trying to prove that I could have won a championship with them. My offensive line also just held, making things worse. And I think this matchup is just set up for us to lose. I'm gonna have to play out of my mind if we're gonna come back. Those 2 interceptions alone already sting. Now I'm scared to throw it deep. And I also fumbled. It slipped out of my hands, and they're gonna pick it up for even more. It is 35-7 right now. And how has this happened so quick? I don't think I've ever crumbled like this before, but we keep on burning them deep. I mean, that is a ton of separation. Leave it up to Richard Young to be our best wide receiver in the first half. And we have a lot of work to do right now. I don't know how we're going to pull this off. It really doesn't help that we got all these screen plays. Right now, I just need to be throwing it deep versus the Wildcats. So we'll see what I can pull off on 3rd down. I think Damian Volk, that guy that's replaced our receiver in the slot, is going to be pretty quick as well, as he takes that to the crib. We're dancing, but we're still down by a lot. And now the home field advantage is coming back into effect, even though it wasn't effective until we got it back to being a 14-point game. I guess that makes sense though. Everybody was tuned out. They weren't even cheering because of how big of a blowout it was. And please tell me we've just toasted them. That cornerback with abilities has been hard to beat deep, even though he's white, and I don't think we're picking this up. So it would only make sense that Kentucky would get a field goal, extending their lead to 3 possessions. It would have been awesome if the defense played like this whenever I attended Kentucky. They never seemed to do that. They were giving up like 50 points a game. And you know what? I have to be happy for them, because if they beat Alabama in real life, it'd be insane. I probably wouldn't shut up about it on Twitter for at least a month. We still have a chance to come back in this 4th quarter too. We're down by 17. But we've seen some of those other cornerbacks get confused with the deep pass, and I'm going to step up to scramble for as much as I can. How much time's left on the clock is definitely important too, though. We need to be able to score quickly. And here on 1st and 10, they're finally getting in some pass rush. That really should have been a fumble there. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but we just had an insane block, and let's take it to the red zone. I don't like how the accelerated clock's working though. It's running down so much time before I can even get a snap off. So we're about to stay in hurry up mode, and I don't know what type of throw that was, but I'd rather just scramble in for a touchdown. We've gotten it back with all 3 of our timeouts and 2 minutes and 12 seconds left on the clock, so we're actually in a decent spot. This is a winnable matchup still. Come on. I thought we were about to break like 10 tackles. It looks like they are going to be able to guard that deep route, but with the playmaker or this throw, we should have been fine. I can't even hot route in this environment. My receivers are getting confused. That is not what I had out there on the field. So we better pick up this 3rd and 7, and I didn't want to take our running back angle route until here. That should have been picked. I thought he'd get by that defender a little bit quicker. On 4th and 7, please just hang on to the ball. Our chances are still alive. But it would seem like the perfect season isn't going to happen unless we had a miracle and they picked us off. I knew they were going to read that route well. I've had my worst game of the entire video against my favorite team, and there's not much I can do about it now. I mean, this throw is going to be a huge play, assuming we actually catch it. But in order to get the ball back, we had to burn all 3 of our timeouts, and I don't know what's out there. I'm just going to fumble it away. These road environments are going to give us a lot of trouble. We have 3 more coming up, and my offensive coordinator is not too happy with me. Come on, dude. We've lost 1 game. Because of how successful I've been, though, I just got my first NIL offer where it cost me no energy. I'm of course going to accept it. They're giving me stuff for free. And not only do I get followers every week, but I also get +2 energy this week. We're just going to use it to try and collect even more skill points. That's all I can really do. And if we want to make the SEC championship, we can't lose again. Kentucky leapfrogged up to #1 in the college football playoff poll. They're 6-3. We are 8-1 down here. And don't even get me started on South Carolina being above us. The patch is coming at some point, but Kentucky got their revenge. They dropped me down in the Heisman watch list. And between fumbles and interceptions, I think half my turnovers this season came in that 1 game. Cole Adams is at least back for this matchup, but we are playing at the Swamp. Florida's a 91 overall, so we know that's probably going to give us some issues. And I'm not going to know what we're running throughout this entire game. I also don't see the wide receiver buttons, so I have to know them beforehand. And what even are these routes? I'm not sure what our players are supposed to be running, but that wasn't what I thought. I despise playing on the road, especially in the 4th toughest place. I mean, we are just bound to struggle. And we're even dropping balls that we normally wouldn't. On the bright side, though, our defense seemed to hold it down for us, and I think this might be the game where I rush for the most yards. I'm also going to give our running back a chance to catch a direct snap. I didn't even want to put my hands on it. And let's see what type of coverage they're running here. I felt like it was going to be man-to-man. We had the touchdown. It is a shame that they screamed in that quick. I have no time, and I don't know anybody's route because of that, but I do know that's normally square where they have kept up with whoever was running it, and we mossed them. We mossed them for the touchdown. That might be the play of the season. And Caleb Odom clearly wanted me to learn his name doing stuff like that. I think he's wide receiver 2 on the depth chart, but he's just so slow that I normally wouldn't care about him. And on this next one, we are going deep again to Caleb Odom. I don't know why he's been out there instead of Ryan Williams, but he's been killing it. And this feels like a setup for disaster. We just had to hand that ball off where we picked up 15. Well, Odom's clearly going to be on the outside for probably the rest of the year, but it seems like he broke that press really well. I'm still going to give it to him. And this might be the worst play to run in this environment where I have absolutely zero idea what is even happening. And we're probably going to have to settle for a field goal. I'm just going to scramble on this 3rd down where a spin move is not going to get us in, but we got the first. We are so close to punching this one in. Richard Young does. And I don't know why Odom has started to line up on the outside, but I really don't like it. He is not going to beat players deep the same way that Ryan Williams was. That might make the rest of this season extremely difficult. And they are just screaming in with pressure. This throw better be accurate, which it was. I guess Ryan Williams in the slot could be a good thing. I was expecting him to get open here. The blocking from our offensive line was incredible, though, to allow me to run for the first. And we're going to take our crossing route to Cole Adams, assuming we have enough time. We didn't, though, and they've also hit us with a holding penalty. They didn't do their job right. And how are you going to cheat by holding and still not prevent them from getting in? That is just insane to me. 2nd and 27 now. Everybody's routes are starting to get confused. I did have enough time to hit our tight end, though, which is going to allow us to pick up the first. And we just have to hope that there's stuff out there on the field that's going to allow us to score versus the Gators. Ideally, they're in man-to-man coverage and nobody sticks on Richard Young, but they did and I wasn't prepared. So it's 3rd and goal. I'm going to wait for him to get open with the halfback ankle route and they're going to pick me off. I think we all knew that was probably coming, and it's why I normally wouldn't throw the ball in that situation. I'm going to try to burn them deep, though, with Ryan Williams. I mean, it looked like he had the edge on that corner. So we have 25 seconds to make up for that original turnover, and scrambling to the left side of the field might be the move if I wasn't already tired. This could be another red zone interception, though we have the touchdown right there to Odom. And Caleb Odom's having himself a day. Florida would score to start the second half, though, so it looks like their offense has finally started to come alive. And I was able to put Ryan Williams on a streak on this play, but getting it off was another question. I wasn't sure if we could make that throw. This is the toughest defensive line I think we've played all year, but it could still be Ohio State's or somebody else that I'm not thinking of at the moment. Like, they just keep getting us into these 3rd and longs where I could have thrown thrown that ball, but I didn't want to risk it. And they're going to call a penalty for a late hit as I was running out of bounds. That is huge. It's unnecessary roughness. And I have never seen that call in this game. I feel like it happens all the time, but it's never thrown. As long as it gets us a field goal, we're going to be up by 3 possessions, so I'm not risking anything. And I'm kind of hoping that on this next play, they're in cover 2 where I take a sack and also fumble it to the Gators. This is what I'm used to happening on Heisman. I was kind of surprised when it wasn't earlier on in the season, but our offensive line's supposed to be good. And I'm starting to wonder if somebody's injured or something, because this has been insane to deal with throughout the entire game. We just have to hope on 3rd and 2 that I have enough time to get this throw off. I'm not sure which receiver I'm going to take. I couldn't see the buttons for a while, but the screen plays are never going to fail us. They seem to always work. I should have never said that though. Of course we wouldn't hang on to that football and just sack me already. I'd rather our defense get out there on the field, even though we're probably about to throw a 17-point lead. And they got their touchdown. It is now 24-21. If I've learned anything from this in our last matchup against Kentucky, it's that I do not want our first playoff game to be on the road. That is for sure. And I'll sit here and wait until it's the 2-minute warning. The biggest issue is on the other side of it, they're just going to stack the box on every play. So odds are they're about to get a defensive stop against us, and Richard Young's getting close. Here on 3rd and 2, I could throw this RPO and we could pick this up. That is going to be the game. And we are taking this knee, getting out of the swamp. That was such a close one. I can't believe we pulled it off, because once the home field advantage really kicked in, I couldn't do anything. In fact, I took so many sacks that my health is completely gone. We're going to have to spend almost all of our energy just recovering it. And with 4 skill points to spend, if we're going to upgrade anything else throughout the year, it's probably not going to be power. So maybe I should just start to get our overall even higher, as we're now a 94. I just have a weird feeling that it's going to affect my player overall when I take it over to Madden 25. And it would be nice to go into Arkansas and get a huge road win, considering what's happened in the last couple. So far, the stadium pulse hasn't seemed like it's too bad, but we're also only a play in. And just the fact that I can make some audibles alone makes me happy, but I'm about to take a sack. That sack's going to make this very difficult to pick up. It is 3rd and 20, though the cover 0 almost gave us a chance. But unfortunately, we were just a yard short. The Razorbacks would follow it up with a field goal, but it could have been worse since they're 8 and 2. And it's so weird not having Ryan Williams on the outside, because this would normally have been a touchdown. As much as Odom has helped us, he's not going to be one that runs by them for deep plays. That's the issue. But we know Cole Adams is, so I've just been staring him down where I'm taking sack after sack. 3rd and 30 should sum up how this first half has gone for us. It has not been pretty. We just haven't gotten many yards, but there's a flag on the play, and it's against Arkansas for a late hit on me. We have somehow picked up the first down, and now we're in a decent position to keep on moving it down the field, as they thought that they could press Cole Adams. I was waiting on that moment for way too long. We also might have them beat over this cover 2 to Ryan Williams. He breaks 2 tackles, and that's the thing. It might be hard for us to beat teams deep now with our new receiver alignment, but we're still gonna do it. I'm pretty sure you all have just seen 3 straight touchdowns in a row, but they keep on coming out and pressing us, so I'm not sure what they expect to happen. Time is winding down in the half, though. We need to pick this up to get in field goal range quick, and I hope that I did enough right there. Well, on the other side of things, it's 24-10, so we clearly hit our field goal, and we're gonna see if Williams is able to get loose on this jailbreak screen. I was hoping he would, but they've stopped him. There was so much open field on that right side that he just didn't see, but we're still moving it pretty well, and if that was a streak route, he had him beat. Now it's 2nd and 17. I could take the zig for a couple, but it won't get us much, and I might just throw up this ball on 3rd and 10 and hope for the best. If he beats the press, he should. We would have had a touchdown, but he didn't, and it's not like I could see that side of the field anyway. Luckily for us, our defense is gonna force a turnover, so we're getting it inside the red zone anyway, like he did catch it, and I really want to take this RPO to our tight end to get into the end zone, but he is about to get stopped short, or maybe not. That really helps my stats, even though I did almost nothing. And on 3rd and 12, I am gonna look deep just because I want to have another touchdown, which should be possible. I mean, they are pressing our fastest receiver. He's gone. If you're looking at just my completion percentage, this is going to be my best game this year, and if this game refuses to turn on chew clock with a couple minutes left, even though we're up by this much, I'm going to score more points. The only way this hurts my Heisman odds is if I somehow manage to throw an interception, and of course they've got me set up running the football where I've kept it for a tutty. At the end of the day, we really needed a win like this on the road, and I had 6 total touchdowns with 83% of my passes being completed. I'm probably going to continue to get more and more NIL offers. This one just makes me tougher. I don't think I need it, because mentally I'm already laser focused in for the Iron Bowl, which is one of the biggest games of the year. If I perform well in that in-state rivalry, I should shoot up to number 1 in the Heisman race, and the fact that I'm not already there with stats like this blows my mind. I mean, I have Alabama as a top 4 team, number 1 in the SEC, and they still don't think I deserve the Heisman, but I'm gonna earn it at the end of the year, I promise. That alongside a national championship would make me the number 1 pick in the draft. draft. But Auburn is not playing around against us. They scored a touchdown in 16 seconds. I should have known stuff like that would happen though. I mean, the Iron Bowl is a big deal. And I'm fully expecting some of our receivers to dust them deep on this play, but it didn't happen, so we're going to have to use a playmaker, which is caught, and keep on running Richard. If the committee doesn't think that's a Heisman level play, I don't know what they're watching. And I only have 3 reads on this second down where we are going to have somebody on the sidelines. I don't like the 3rd and 1 play call though. It's out of my hands. Richard Young had to pick it up himself for us, plus a little bit more. And apparently at the end of that, somehow he fumbled. Auburn's celebrating with the ball back, but it's completely fine. I'm annoyed, so I'm just going to come out and try to bomb them on this next play, which they are getting back to. If they want to come out in this cover 0 look, I promise I will do it again. We have good enough blocking to get this off, and there's no way that they stick with him right there. Come on, that's an easy tutty. I'll do that all the time. I want to win the Heisman Trophy. We need Richard Young to make a play for us as he breaks 1 tackle and also spins a guy out. So I feel like we can actually trust to feed him the football, and this is man-to-man coverage. Surely this is where Ryan Williams beats him. It's like he got moved over to wide receiver 2, and he just lost all of the skill that made him great. But it's fine. We still have a chance to pick up this 3rd down, and great blocking. That's going to be the real difference maker when we make the playoffs. Whether or not we win or not is all dependent upon our offensive line. And Odom's going to have a chance to get loose with this play right here, as they are all over it. Never mind. I was really excited for that. I thought it was going to work out well for us, but instead I'm just scrambling to try to pick up the 1st down, which I get. And we have got to keep it moving. No turnovers either. I can't risk turning the ball over, even though they almost played that. On 2nd and 10, my plan is to just roll out to the right because I thought I needed to in order to hit this crosser, but I guess I didn't. And we're getting very close to a touchdown now. That slant takes us to the 2. I might just have to scramble in though. I don't trust my guys to get open, and I also don't trust myself to make a throw without turning it over. Scoring with that much time left in the first half though was pretty much a given that Auburn would respond back against us. I just hope that's not picked. And on 2nd and 10, I am just going to step up in the pocket here, trying to scramble to get a few, but I'm not able to slide, and that leads to a fumble. It is my fault that we are down 17-14 right now, but it's also going to be the reason that we're about to take a lead. I'm the reason I just hit Ryan. I don't know how he dusted by that corner so quick, but I'll take it. And we even have the ball back with 20 seconds left in this 2nd quarter still. I almost want to try and go for something deep, like that deep post, but that safety might play it. That was kind of crazy, but I felt like we had them there, and once again, he just beat them off of the line. I'm not sure what he's doing, but I'll take it. Because now going into halftime at the Iron Bowl, we're up by 11, and you know that all these big plays are going to help my stats out a lot. We're about to have another, assuming Colby makes the play, and he does. He just ran right under it. The next time I'd be out there on the field, we have it on the half-inch line, which is going to lead to a safety. And then they almost got it within 1 possession by scoring a touchdown, but they didn't get the 2-point conversion. I don't think they're ever going to go away in this game, though. I'm also very curious if we can get it out in time. And I had a read right there that would have been a touchdown. Well, all of a sudden, this home field advantage is in full effect. We're also only up by 7, so there's 2 issues that we have to deal with. And over on that right side of the field, we have some verticals that I wanted to take, but scrambling also works. I've definitely fumbled a lot in this game. It was important that I got down there. And as much as I wanted to leave the play action on for this play, I couldn't do it. I'd probably take a sack, and it's still going to work for a tutty. We just can't put them away, though. They're still within 8 points. It makes sense. It's a rivalry matchup, and I might be able to get another touchdown, which would really help me out. First, though, we have to pick up this 3rd and 7 where they almost got the sack on me before I scrambled for the 1st. And I think we have a touchdown on this next play. They're going to expect the run, but we're not going to do that. We're going to pick up our blocks, and I hit the wrong button. I had it. I mean, that was still a rare time where hitting the wrong button didn't pan out bad for us. It still worked. But now we have to get at least 1 more first down to run out the rest of the clock, and Richard Young is able to do that. I don't know why he went out of bounds, though. It kind of defeats the purpose of moving the chains. And I'm just hoping that we're in field goal range if we aren't able to get it again. Well, apparently that run was far enough. We can just take a knee, and the Iron Bowl is going to go to the Crimson Tide. I think I can take credit for a lot of it, which is enough to get us into the SEC championship against Oklahoma. But just from the looks of it, they think 2 other quarterbacks deserve the Heisman over me. That would be really disappointing after winning pretty much every single SEC game and throwing for over 50 touchdowns, but I can still put more stats up against Oklahoma. That game's pretty important because it's also for a first-round bye in the college football playoffs, and I'm just glad that it's against a team we haven't played already. We're getting a new opponent to face off against, but I'm pretty sure it's against senior Jackson Arnold, so I'm not going to be surprised if the Sooners score a lot of points. I mean, they've already gotten 7, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come. The good news, though, is because it's not a road game, we don't have to deal with home field advantage, and that alone makes me really happy. I'm also going to try to scramble for a lot of yards, 1 guy to beat. I'm going to throw him to the ground, but unfortunately, I didn't get much farther than that. Now it's Richard Young's turn to put the working in the open space. And if this is cover 2, we're going to have a touchdown, but it's not. It's cover 1, which means our tight end got wide open with the crosser route versus a linebacker. So far, I have been taking play action off of everything, and it seemed to help. We're also going to have a huge play over to the sidelines, but it was just ruined by Ryan Williams. I don't know what he was doing there. Now this lineman's catching me. It's actually so frustrating that we don't have who I want over on this left side of the field either, because then we get stuck settling for 3 and we're not able to beat them deep. We did on this play though, and I'm going to have to use the playmaker to get a huge play out of it. Hold on to the ball right there. Keep on going all the way. It's been a while since we've seen Vincent out there on the field. Or at least it's been a while since I've thrown to him, but he just worked wonders for us, and now we have the ball back up by 3 points. All we have to do is keep on passing it because running isn't working, and I think Williams is about to burn that corner over on that side. His ability allows him to get a little bit of a boost off of that first cut, but he's not gone. I'm not too worried about feeding him the ball now that he's not in the Heisman race anymore. He's not competition, but I just lost the football and they grabbed it over me. I swear, I just drop it all the time. And now we're down 14-10 just like that. It happened so quickly. We're trying to hit a crossing route now, but it didn't work for us, and Richard Young better make something happen with this halfback screen. I mean, he had plenty of grass. Now we got this interesting verticals play where I know we have the faster guy in this matchup. Just hold on to the football, which sent us into halftime with the lead, and we're going to come out firing away in this second half as well. It's underthrown though. That should be an interception. Yeah, it is. I needed to do better there. There was no reason to force it. And now the score is all tied up at 17, but I feel like I'm forgetting something. I don't remember us ever settling for a field goal, but I'm sure that we did. As long as it's tied, it's tied. And I'm just curious at what they're going to guard on this 3rd and 6. They leave the flat open, but Richard Young has to fight for the first, and he doesn't. Things could be worse, though. The next time we have the ball, we're on their side of the field, so we should score. And if this is cover 1, we're going deep with it all day. I knew we had the mismatch over there. I mean, Cole Adams has just emerged as our number 1 guy, but Oklahoma's not going away. Now it's 24 all. They got the stop that they were hoping for, and I just hit the wrong button. We had a touchdown too, but I'm just lucky that I didn't throw an interception there. I need to throw this one away. And that's how the 3rd quarter is going to end. We have a tight one coming up. We're not in a spot where we can lose now either. I'm waiting for our delay route to get open, and it's still guarded by somebody. That's going to lead to an Oklahoma field goal, putting us down with this much time left on the clock. And what am I doing sending up a prayer like that? I mean, it technically worked, but it really shouldn't have. And I know where I want to go with on this play, but they guarded it, so I got to get it out. That was the same play I missed a touchdown on earlier, but that time it actually wasn't open. And if we don't pick up anything here, we're not in field goal range, so I'm just going to scramble for as much as I can get and hopefully allow us to tie it up. We would do that, but Oklahoma would also get another 3, which means there is not much time left on the clock for us to come back with, and I am just looking for one of our deep routes on these plays. If not, I'm going to scramble for as much as I can get. Now it is 3rd and short, and our drag should be enough to keep the chains moving. That's what Vincent's able to do, but I'm pretty nervous right now. I don't like being in this situation. I'm going for the deep shot to Vincent. He has the speed. He is the mismatch. Now we just have to rely on our defense. And guess who got the stop? Alabama's winning the SEC. I didn't come here for nothing. I'm starting to collect some trophies, and I'm hoping that player of the game wins me the Heisman. Well, it didn't, and I know for a fact that we put up way better stats than that. So I'm pretty salty. I mean, look at this in comparison. We threw less picks. We had almost 20 more touchdowns and more passing yards. I mean, I literally won so many different awards, but not the one that counts. They had me down here at 5th in the voting. Ryan Williams didn't even win wide receiver over the year over this guy. And Ryan Williams had almost 2,000 receiving yards with 19 touchdowns, while Cole Adams could have deserved the award as well. I just don't understand how I didn't win the Heisman. Maybe it's the completion percentage that threw them off, but I even had 7 rushing touchdowns on the ground. And that makes me want to go out and dominate in the playoffs even more. I'm going to continue to train and then make sure I recover. That's going to lead to our first playoff game against the Spartans. And Clemson must have just paid somebody to get favored this much. They are 10-3 as the number 1 seed over us. They got the Heisman winner. They got the best seeding, but I cannot let them win a championship. And with 10 skill points left to spend, I still can't upgrade my throw power. I could increase my IQ a whole lot more, or my health, but I'm not going to. I want to be even quicker. I'm up to 83 speed. We're going to need that because clearly Michigan State scores a lot of points and their team overall is an 82. Okay, we're going to be fine. Never mind. If I lose to a team like that, I really don't deserve a championship. I mean, I just just had the best stats in my career by a long shot. And I find it so funny that my only loss was to my former team, Kentucky, who missed the playoffs. Going into this first game though, all I can really hope for is that we don't keep it close, because I don't want the Spartans to ever feel like they have any chance at beating us, and on the first play I'm testing out that new speed. I can already notice a little bit of a difference. I should have upgraded this sooner. I mean, we can step up all we want. And they're pressing the wide receiver that should have won the Blitnikoff. Surely that doesn't end well for them. I can't even see on that side, but I was throwing it up either way. A little disappointing. I thought he would have beaten them deep right there, but he didn't. It's like he only could do that on the left side of the field. I'm not sure what's up with that, but we're still in a good spot to win a championship, even if Odom is now our wide receiver 1. With his size, he might be a decent red zone target. He just doesn't get much separation. And I hope that throw being off target doesn't mean we have to take 3, but you know Richard Young is always going to convert there. This is the first time I've been able to be confident on third downs with running the ball whenever it's even short. And before I even snap this ball, I'm telling all of you, it is a touchdown no matter what. We have the fastest wide receiver in the country. He is dusting whoever is gonna press him. Funny enough though, they come out on this next play doing the exact same thing. I'm not sure what the strategy is exactly, but we have Ryan Williams for another touchdown. It's just so weird to me that they keep coming out in this same defense that hasn't worked, and then they're surprised when we're gonna score over and over against them. I mean, this has been our staple all season. Nobody's taken down Cole Adams. He wanted to get another tutty. And by now, this just has to be a joke. They are still running cover 1. What on earth are they thinking right now? Every single play they're coming out this aggressive. I find it hard to believe that they were the team that won the Big Ten. And by now, this game's already over before the end of the first half. The lights were too bright for Michigan State. That's the only way I know how to put this. I mean, their man-to-man coverage is not working. Ryan Williams is about to get another touchdown. And I wish I could bump up the difficulty even more. It's not great for content to win games by this much. I would much rather have a shootout that's more entertaining, and I'm still getting big runs against them too. This almost broke off for a tutty. It was very close to happening, but this entire second half has just been me running out the clock, trying to get through the rest of it. And if there is one feature they add to the game next year in Road to Glory, it's definitely having skip plays. I'd rather have that feature instead of something like high school, but that's just me. And let's just enjoy the fact that we're on to the semifinals. We're collecting more trophies, but these don't matter, because at the end of the day, I just want to win a natty, but we have to play number 1 Clemson. This is how it needs to be though. I have to prove that I'm better than that quarterback that won the Heisman. And words can't describe how salty I'd be if I lost to him in this game. To open it up, I know that they're going with a cover 3, but I was hoping for cover 1, and wait, it is actually cover 1. We had a touchdown on both sides of the field to our fastest receivers, and now we're going to on the next play as well. He's gone. Cole Adams is just too good. And I promise you, if I have enough time to get this throw off, I will try to do it again. I feel like he can just run by any defender. That is what 99 speed does for you. Now we're running the read option, and we can just mix it up and do whatever. Some weird stuff might lead to touchdowns like this play right here. Richard Young makes it 14-0, and there's no way that they are coming out pressing me this aggressively. Why on earth would you do that when you know that we have guys that can toast you deep? Clemson is toast already. It really was the road environments that made everything so tough, because whenever we're not on the road, whenever we have enough throw power to get those out, we have a lot of touchdowns, but then there's the occasional drop, and that was almost a fumble. I don't really feel confident in a game until we're up at least 28-0 or whatever, but that was almost picked. And maybe all the deep shots are about to start getting stopped and they're adjusting. It took them long enough, but they really have, as we're about to take a sack here. And we better pick up this 3rd and 10. We sent a guy in motion. We actually had the touchdown, but I saw it a bit too late and I've thrown a pick. They knew to have somebody lurking there, but I'm really not getting punished for it if we get the ball back just a few plays later and it's time to use that speed or fumble it back to Clemson. They should have never given me a lead like this, really, because I'm going to be way too confident. I want to have a huge rushing play. I can't get much farther. And that's the one thing that could have gone better in my career. I just wasn't that fast. I figured it'd be more important to spend all of my skill points on stuff like throw accuracy, which did really help us. But it also would have been a lot of fun to run around with somebody that had like 95 speed. I think it's all going to work out though. I'm very interested to see how it transitions over to Madden. That throw was on the money. And this is a really cool screen play. I could take our running back or I could take our tight end. We have a bunch of blockers either way, with a face mask penalty getting us even closer to another touchdown. Even though it looked like I might blow it for a second, this one's about to be over. And so much for the Tigers having a Heisman winning quarterback. He's literally scored 10 points through 2.5 quarters, and it's about to get even worse for his defense. Clemson would make it a little bit more respectable in the end, but we all know that it was a blowout, and we are on to the national championship against either Kansas State or Florida State. I was clearly the better quarterback in this matchup as well, so the last thing that I have to prove is that I can win a title. Going into this game, I have 3 skill points, so we might as well spend them just to get me up to a 95 overall. And Kansas State might have crushed Florida State, but before that they had to play Jacksonville State and Toledo. Facing off against teams like that, their overall might not be the best. They're sitting at an 86. And we're in a spot where we have a huge advantage, so we can take home that trophy. The lights better not be too bright, because if I did all that throughout my career to lose this game, that would just be embarrassing, and Cole Adams is breaking away for a huge play. He's really done an incredible job this season. I'd say he's my favorite player, even over Ryan Williams. But those two are very close. They've both been incredible, and what is this coverage? I've noticed whenever you incorporate motions, it really confuses the defense. And Kansas State must not want to win this game. Did they watch any game tape at all? They know that we're going to take the top off of their defense whenever they press us. It really is so nice to have multiple guys that can just gash them deep, because I'm always bound to lose yards like I did right there, and now we have to try to make them back. 3rd and 18. I think we might actually have them beat with our tallest wide receiver too. Even he is able to outrun number 1. And who would have thought Odom had breakaway speed like that? I mean, he really doesn't, but I might have been too hard on him because he still has 91. It's just at his size, sometimes he seems a little bit slower than the rest of the guys, and that's why I had to upgrade my speed. We made plays like that. Now we're going to keep on pushing it down the field, and using our tight end, it's about to be 28-0. I don't think they have the front out there to stop the quarterback draw either. They weren't expecting it. So it really doesn't matter that they got 3 points on their next drive. They're just not able to stop me, except that might be intercepted. I do really like on this game how safeties will turn around on deep balls like that. I am going to try to scramble or do something though for this 3rd down, and we still picked it up. By now I'm just having fun. We all know that this game's over, and I'm going to throw this one on the run because why not? If that's a dot, then we're going to make every catch. It wasn't, but it was pretty close to being one. And to end the 3rd quarter, we might take a safety right here, which we do. I mean, the game is still over, but that's the type of stuff that gives Kansas State a little bit of light. So we've had to make sure that we put them away on this drive. That's going to do it though. I have won the national championship. That was my main goal when I transferred to Alabama, so I'm really glad that I was able to make it happen. And I know for a fact that I'm about to have one of the best nights of my life. The next step in my career is going to be leaving for the NFL though. And if anything should be my strong suit, it's definitely all of my accuracies. For a career, I feel like these stats are really good. We can ignore how many sacks I took. I mean, I had 68 touchdowns as a senior. And the next time I'm playing with myself, it's going to be on Madden 25, where I finally get to find out what NFL team wants me, and we'll see if I can win a Super Bowl then.